3 things to learn about Asian American women's racial dating preferences based on actual psychological research rather than the so-called Oxford study. My name is Dr. Yi. I'm a psychology professor and I study Asian American racial issues. Let's break down the important findings of this research article. Drawing from a sample of 207 Asian American adult women, and here's the ethnic breakdown if you're curious. The researchers found that number 1, contrary to the Oxford study, on average, Asian American adult women reported the strongest desire to date Asian American men compared to other racial groups. Number 2, internalized racism was a key predictor in dating preferences for Asian American women. I did a whole video on internalized racism and the measure this study used, which I'll link in the comments. But the more internalized racism that Asian American women had, the more likely they were to prefer dating a white man and less likely they were to prefer dating an Asian man. And finally, number 3, what's the flip side to that? Asian American women who had more resistance, more empowerment against racism, were more likely to prefer dating Black men and Latino men compared to white men and Asian men. So what does this all mean? I mean, compared to the Oxford study, which didn't even test Asian American women's racial dating preferences, this study emphasizes that we cannot make blanket statements about Asian American women and who they choose to date. It provides an actually nuanced view of what sociocultural factors shape Asian American women's choices and desires. Because it's not like Asian American racial dating preferences are coming out of nowhere. Because we're pushed this narrative that proximity to whiteness is important to strive for, and that white beauty standards and status are idealized in our society. So how can we challenge internalized racism and increase resistance and empowerment against racism in our community? I'd love to hear your thoughts and follow for more Asian American psych research from a professor.